HOLYONE.
A great guy, and his videos are fantastic.
What's new, YouTube? It's HOLYONE, and these are going to be my top 10 favorite games of the decade. So, to start off this list, I chose Halo Reach, and no game is organized differently. They're all equal in my eyes, so I just ranked them accordingly, which I just found on my list of games. So, out of all the games I beat, Halo Reach is probably my favorite one that started off the decade, coming out in 2010. I put about probably 1,000 hours in the game. Me and my brother used to play this after school all the time. We loved playing on the Horde mode and Griffball. Those were our two favorite matches. We loved taking out the aliens, the Covenant, and all that sort of thing. The campaign was pretty good with its story of how everything transpired before Chief discovered the Halo rings and everything like that. And overall, the game was addicting and fun. The co-op in the game was really good. The game graphically was definitely ahead of its time. And it was a very good game, in my personal opinion. Definitely a great game to start off 2010 for games of the decade. As we are closing in on 2020, this game getting re-released on Steam has definitely brought a vigorous Halo community out of the woodworks on PC. Even though some people don't want it on PC, it's still a great game to pick up. So if you guys want a recommendation for Halo Reach, definitely cop it for $10 on Steam if you want, or cop it on sale for after the $40 goes down if you want the entire Halo Master Chief collection. What could I say? It's Halo. It's good. It's fun. It's easy to pick up and put down. There is a skill curve to it, but you guys will definitely like this. And if anybody's a fan of Destiny out there, definitely give Halo Reach a look. It's a great game and a great game to have in your one's library, for sure. All right, next up on my list is Xenoblade 2 and Xenoblade's expansion, Torn of the Golden Country. Xenoblade 2 is probably my favorite JRPG this console generation. I don't know if you count the Switch as next gen, but either way, Xenoblade, like, going from Xenoblade 1 to Xenoblade Chronicles X was a huge disappointment for me. Xenoblade Chronicle X was trash. I did not like that game whatsoever, even though I sunk probably 600 hours in Xenoblade Chronicles 1 on the Wii. I just could not get into X, and a lot of people agree with me on that. I know you probably might disagree, but I put 8 hours in Xenoblade Chronicles X, and I couldn't get into it. So I said, you know what? I ain't getting the collector's edition for Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I kind of regret doing that, but I had steady water because, you know, Monolith Soft had one win and one loss with me. So I picked up Xenoblade 2 for the Nintendo Switch after Torna came out because I was waiting for it to go on sale and waiting for that expansion so I could kind of get, like, the complete experience with the DLC Torna. So I did Torna after I beat the main game. So after I'm not gonna spoil Xenoblade 2 for you, but the game is really fun. Some people say the combat system is casual, but if you dive deep into each of the blades and learn each is a different skill, you can definitely craft and build a character to your liking. The voice acting is okay in the game, but overall, the game's length and content is amazing. Now, I did a 40-hour speedrun. I'm not skipping any cutscenes because I do like speedrunning games. But I easily sunk 480 hours into this game, including beating Torna twice and Xenoblade Chronicles 2 twice. Torna, you should probably play first if you want to get a backstory. But if you play the main one first, they interconnect with each other, which is really interesting and cool. So, if you want a really good RPG, open-world game, different titans to climb on, and you guys are fans of that open world game, definitely give it a look. Now, it does have performance issues in portable modes, so if you guys have issues with performance, play the game in docked mode. It runs flawlessly at 720p 30, no problem. So I'd recommend playing in a docked mode if you can. So that would be my recommendation for that. Moving up the list, we have Nioh, which did release recently. Nioh is a great game that's basically Souls-like, but even more difficult, where you hunt down yokais and you basically kill them and take out any enemies, stuff like that sort of thing. And Nioh is definitely a great game to get. The reason for that is if you guys like, you know, the samurai stuff and you like to build your own character and stuff like that, you can totally do that. The game is not hard to access and stuff like that. But overall, it's not a bad game at all. What the hell? And Nioh is definitely a tricky game. Now, the reason I put it on my top 10 greatest games of all time is because Nioh offered me something that was new and a Souls-like experience with the customizations you can do, whether you want a stealthy ninja or a heavy brooded character to fight the yokai. Each boss is different and unique to its own character. The expansions really give weight to the game. You can get the complete edition right now on PlayStation 4 or PC. I platinumed the game on PlayStation and PC. The game was that good and I enjoyed it. And the game has like 8 or 9 new game pluses, which basically doubles or even triples the enemy's difficulty. And the point of playing those is to get better gear, better weapons, and build your character how you want to build them. Make them stronger, make them more unique. Kill the enemies in what way you want to kill them in. I easily sunk 800 hours playing this between my PS4 and PC. It is a really good game. Now, if you guys want a game that's not too difficult, you may want to stay away from Nioh. But if you like a challenge and you're huge into Japanese lore and playing in like the feudal war periods of Edo, Japan, this game is definitely worth checking out. You definitely can use like different little spirits to attack enemies with, which boasts your character's skills and stats. So there's lots of different ways to build it. The reason I like this so much is the customability, the difficulty scaling, and all sorts of cool stuff like that, and the rich culture of Edo War States, Japan, and stuff like that. So definitely cop Nioh if you want. It's definitely worth checking out. So that's definitely one of my top 10 games of this decade. And you could definitely pick it up free. Well, you could have picked it up free on PS Plus, but definitely give it a look. The next game on my list is Persona 4 Golden, which released back in 2012 on the PS Vita. Now, I didn't play Persona 4 back on the PS2 when it released because I didn't own a PS2 at the time. But my God, if you guys liked Persona 5, give Persona 4 Golden a check out. You can definitely, it's a little expensive with the Vita, but if you can, you could try, you know, there's other ways of getting it on PC, if you know what I mean. I'm not going to say to do that, but you know what I mean. Easily sunk 500 hours into this game. The characters, the story, everything about it is great. The detective, you know, the group's trying to figure out who's killing who's causing these people to die in the Shadows world and the mind of humans and stuff like that. And each cast of characters is unique and different, and you can build relationships with each character. And each dungeon is unique, and each persona is cool to use in battle, and it's definitely a classic turn-based style RPG. It can feel dated a little bit, but it's still worth picking up if you own a PlayStation Vita. This is a must-have for any Vita owner. And if you're looking to play a long role-playing RPG in a dungeon crawler, this is definitely the game to get. It is worth it. This is probably one of the greatest Vita games I ever played. So, moving up my list, we have BioShock Infinite, which I copped back on the 360, and I recently got it on PC as well. BioShock Infinite was beautiful. Like, it is a beautiful game. I love how they took the game from being underwater in BioShock 1. Didn't really care for BioShock 2, but I loved how they took it into the sky, the environment, the details are different. The girl who helps you in the game, I'm bad with names, so forgive me, but she's really helpful. She finds ammo for you. She can help you with that. The story is kind of bizarre at the end, but that bizarreness is what got me really interested in the game. It's like, okay, you're warping between different timelines and trying to figure out how your daughter was taken and how she has these powers and sort of thing. The gunplay is really smooth and fun to do. I love grappling enemies and ripping their heads off. And it doesn't cheese away from those, you know, racist jokes during the time period this game came at, and watching and gutting those guys doing those racist jokes in the game, which was pretty good. But if you definitely want to check this out, it's available on PC, and you can get the remasters on PS4 or Xbox One. Definitely give BioShock Infinite a look. Moving up my list, had to put Borderlands 2 on here. This is probably one of my favorite first-person looter shooters before Destiny came out, and before back then I bought this game probably like 6 times on every console. And I've sunk probably 1,000 hours in this game playing cooperatively with my brother or playing it by myself. The DLC alone made this game long. Handsome Jack is a great villain in the game. He's always taunting you. Each character is unique. I liked using Gage as my main because I like using characters that have like a support role that you can customize a robot and stuff like that. And the game is very funny and comical, and you could definitely sink tons of hours into this game. If you haven't gotten this game yet and you're on the fence, definitely pick it up. You can get it like so cheap right now, and you can get all the DLC with it. So yeah, if you like playing a looter shooter like Destiny, drop that and definitely pick up Borderlands 2. Moving up my list, we have The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 1 and 2. Series I recently got into a couple of years ago. Waiting on the third one for come out soon. The Trails of Cold Steel is a fantastic turn-based JRPG with a fantastic story where if you guys ever played Mass Effect 2, you basically play Trails of Cold Steel 1, which you build up your teammates, your class, you build up relationships similar to Persona, and then you can move over to, and then you carry that experience over to Trails of Cold Steel 2, where you basically have a warring country getting attacked by a terrorist group. Not going to spoil the story for you. And you're basically trying to figure out who's doing this, and then if your allies are who they say they are. And you have to go with your classmates around the country to see the country's issues and stuff like that. And if you guys want, you can definitely go back and play the Trails of Cold Steel in the Sky, which has these games connected in with it as you play them. It has like a connection between those games as well. You can pick these games up right now on Steam, or if you want to wait for Cold Steel 3, you can pick that up as well. But I'd recommend starting off at 1 and work your way up to 3 if you can. So definitely worth picking up. It's worth every penny. Moving up, we have Devil May Cry 5. I have waited 10 years for Devil May Cry 5 to come out. This game, I've been waiting. I mean, I enjoyed DMC. I really enjoyed Devil May Cry 4. I enjoyed Devil May Cry 1. Didn't play 3, and I hated 2. So I was excited for this game, and it did not disappoint me. This is a fantastic action game. Definitely worth picking up and playing. The game runs at a smooth 60 on all systems. Most of the time on the consoles, but it's definitely worth picking up. You can get it on Xbox Game Pass, or you can get it cheap for like $20. It's usually on sale for like $20 or so. It's got a great story. Its story is connected to how Virgil came back from Devil May Cry 3 and all that sort of stuff. But if you just want a high-octane action game, definitely give Devil May Cry 5 a look. It can't get more high-octane than that, and it runs flawless on PC. Moving up, we have Monster Hunter World. And now, I haven't been a huge Monster Hunter World fan. I've tried playing Monster Hunter on multiple systems. I tried playing it on the Wii U, couldn't get into it. I tried playing it on the 3DS a little bit, really couldn't get into it. But Monster Hunter World, I really got into. The game sort of clicked with me. You guys can check out my top 10 review of this game. It was pretty dope. If you guys like hunting down giant monsters and beasts, and the recent expansion came out, made the game even better to play. Monster Hunter World is definitely worth checking out. I've already sunk 1,000 hours into this game on PC alone. It's easily one of my top favorite monster hunting games out there, and it's definitely probably my favorite Monster Hunter World game. It looks beautiful. It runs pretty good on PC now, or if you want to get on consoles, you can get that on there. So if you're into these Monster Hunting World games and you want to sink tons and tons of hours into building up your customized character in this game, definitely give this game a look at. And to round out this list, we have Bloodborne. Probably one of my favorite PlayStation 4 exclusives, and one of my favorite Souls-like games. Bloodborne is just awesome. The reason I liked it is it's more fast-paced than Dark Souls was, and your character feels a bit more fragile, but it pays off with all the blood attempts you can use on each boss. I love how bloody the game is, how dark the game is, and how gritty the game is. Bloodborne was my game of the year of 2015, and it's definitely worth copping if you haven't played Bloodborne yet. It is a really good game, and the DLC for it also makes it even more difficult. So definitely check out Bloodborne on that. So this is going to be my top 10 most favorite games of the decade, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. This is your boy, HOLYONE. Out!